Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Panther fans, we are live. I am going to be posting the link for the link for tonight's stream on YouTube. So if you are, if you're in chat, drop a hello, talk to us. Want to make sure that I acknowledge my homies who are, here and live right now. Let's see. Where is my channel? Yeah, view your channel. I want to view my channel. I'm cruising to a big win. Who are, here and live right now. And you can hear that. So that is good. Milwaukee cruises. Join us live in the Panther U YouTube channel. Link. Copy that. Posting that. Posting in that chat. Posting in that chat. If you are, like I said, if you're in, make sure you drop a hello. Wanna know who are my buddies in the chat. We're gonna have a lot more of a how would I say this? We're gonna have a lot more positive one here. The demons have been exorcised. Hell yeah. Drop that in here. Stack 6 guys in double figures tonight. Correct. All right, I'm done with that conversation. I don't want to talk about politics. Six guys in double figures. What a W. What a W. Josh Tomaszewski's in here. Hello. Also, what a dub. What a dub. The Milwaukee Panthers. I think I just got to up the chrome, up the filter a little bit. I'm trying to... Yeah, this chroma key's got to be just a little more. Or is that just too close? Maybe it's too close. Sorry, I'm workshopping this kind of as I go. Kind of workshopping it as we go. Sarah, welcome into the chat. That's not any better, is it? One day I'll figure out a green screen, guys. I know none of you care about this, but like I don't like. I want to make sure that it looks good because I do have designs on taking this, this podcasting thing further, and I want to make sure I can get it right. So I'm going to start doing better settings too, because I'm going for frame rate over this on CSM Mom. Hello. How are you? David Shaw, great win. Correct. Panthers win 95-79 in a game where it was close throughout much of the first half. And then it was close through much of the first half. Then the Panthers just went on just kind of incredible run. I believe it was a 21-4 run at one point. I think 26-8 over a certain amount of time, and just the Panthers just absolutely killed it. Who knew? I don't know, between Sunday and today, they looked like a much different team. We are going to go to the stats in a second, but a 16-point victory at Wright State. I have been a Milwaukee fan since 2005, when I was a senior in high school. Let it rain a few threes, they never caught back up. That's true. The first half, they were like 8 of 14 from three. In fact, let me just pick that. Yeah, they were 8 of 14 from three in the first half. I mean, that was fantastic. It wasn't sustainable, but it gave them the buffer they needed. But I was going to say, I've been a fan of the Panthers for 20 years now, and I do not recall ever winning at Wright State by this much. I recall a couple great victories over Wright State. The game from a few years ago where they came back from like a 24-point deficit comes to mind. The quarterfinal victory 2 years ago at the Klatschi Center on campus at Milwaukee also comes to mind. And who could ever forget, from my Twitter profile picture, the 2014 Horizon League Championship game where the Panthers won by, I believe it was 6. We won that game by. But 95 points to 79 points, a 16-point spread is fan-freaking-tastic, everybody. Big ups to everybody in Panther colors. The Beast side sleeps well tonight. Panthers improved to 14-7. That's a 66.6 winning percentage for those of you mathing it up at home. And we've got some changes here. Specifically in whatever that internal strife was, they definitely moved past it, says Sarah Jackson. They surely doodly diddly. Just a couple days, they figured it out. I'm not one to take credit. Dude, I'm the Gipper for this. No. No. It was a joke. That was a joke. I do want to bring it up here. Let's pull it over. Look at this. Panthers are on one heck of a... In fact, let me... screw it. Panthers tied for second place in the Horizon League with Purdue Fort Wayne, over whom we unfortunately do not have the tiebreaker. So if the season were to end today, Milwaukee would be the 3 seed. Youngstown State's played one more game. Luckily for us, that one game is a loss. We have beaten them, so good news. Milwaukee's in a good spot. We're not as hot as Oakland, who, if you look here behind my head, I tried to move it over here. If you look over here, right here, you see right next to my head, win 4, 2 teams. Robert Morris and Oakland are on 4-game winning streaks apiece. Both teams started 2-4 in conference. Both teams are 6-4 in conference. This is a tight standings for the Horizon League here, as it usually is. What is a little surprising is just how much, just how Cleveland State continues to stay atop the conference. Detroit Mercy 2-8 gave them a scare this evening, but it wasn't enough. The Detroit Mercy gave them the scare. Cleveland State ended up winning by 15 anyways. 11-game win streak. In fact, Bob McDonald in chat, everybody say hello to Bob McDonald, Horizon Roundtable founder, owner, CEO, chief editor-in-chief, and Cleveland State season ticket holder and fan. Bob can confirm to us that Cleveland State's last loss was in Milwaukee. So, fortunately for us, even though we're 2 games back, we currently own the tiebreaker. Means you got to go into Cleveland State and go into the Wolstein Center and come up with a W one day. But as of right now, we're looking pretty I said like CEO and then editor-in-chief. I never said sociopath or sociopar. Throwing up the game stats from tonight, 95-79. The Panthers took 7 more field goal attempts than Wright State, making 3 more of them. The field goal percentages were about even. 11 of 24 from 3 for Milwaukee. That is a far cry from where they were this past weekend when they went 0 for 5 against Youngstown State, and then not all that impressive against Robert. They didn't do that bad against Robert Morris, if I remember. I love this one right here. Look at that. 22 for 27 from the free throw line. Oh, you said that I have to have a screw loose. Yes, there are no screws. The only screws that are not loose are the screws that are in the plate in my knee from when I got into a car accident when I was 16. I have told the doctor, by the way, just a little thing. I got an MRI on Wednesday for the cancer. They say that it's fine that I have a metal plate and screws in my leg, and I'm going to an MRI with the magnet. They're saying it's not magnetic, or it's not like, I'm thinking, as a 38-year-old, I was in high school when the Final Destination movies came out, and I'm just thinking of like getting into an MRI and having them microwave my leg and it explodes on me. But that's just a ridiculous thought. They say it's fine. Apparently it's like the kind of metal that can go into an MRI, whatever. 82% from the line. That is better than they've done just about every game this season. That is the kind of shooting that you want from the line to get you results like this. 16 points. On a normal day, they'd be more like 13 to 18 of 27. The shooting touch would not quite be there, and you'd have a lot closer game, frankly. The Panthers did end up winning the rebound battle for much of the game. Wright State was winning that. They had 36-30 rebounds. There were 5 ties, 4 lead changes. The Panthers had a lead for 28 minutes of the game. That's almost 71% of all 40 minutes. Their largest lead was 18. at a score of 89-71. They let that go in the last couple minutes. 15 assists to 9 turnovers. I will take it. We made some threes. Ryan Stofield says, felt like that was possibly the most important win of the season. I do feel like I'm of two minds of that. Okay, I'm of two minds in that. Yeah, it's important that we win at Wright State, but there's a sneaking feeling in my head about the team that reminds me that, like, oftentimes, you know, they roll somewhere and then there's a downer afterwards. It seems like that's a common, maybe not like a common thread this season, but it does feel like the Panthers have, you know, lost a game every now and then when, like, after doing a good one. Like, they beat IU Indy, and then a few days later, stinker at Oakland. They survive Detroit Mercy, and then Purdue Fort Wayne comes in and beats them. They beat Youngstown State, and then Robert Morris comes in and gives us so many opportunities to win, and then they don't. So, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we had the first two losses of the early year, then there were the two losses down south, and then you have the Oakland, the Fort Wayne, the Robert Morris games were kind of spread out. So that's what I want to avoid. The Panthers are on Friday night. They're at Northern Kentucky, a place that is very difficult for the Panthers. I'm just typing this in. All-time Milwaukee versus Northern Kentucky. Men's basketball history. I don't know. They are 8-13 against Northern Kentucky. Gross. They won the last one. 82-75. But, I mean, they lost 10 games during the Pat Baldwin era in a row. And that's why the Pat Baldwin era is in the past. Let's see. In Highland Heights, we won in January of 2023, 75-74. That was the game where who got that basket? Was it Freeman got the basket at the end where Northern Kentucky fans were saying it was like a foul or something? Interestingly enough, though, they won when Pat Baldwin was hurt. We got smacked last year at Northern Kentucky. I mean, smacked. Look at this. 72-90 at Northern Kentucky. And then we hadn't won at Highland Heights. The first time we won in Cincinnati at Northern Kentucky, Highland Heights is a suburb of Cincinnati, right over the border in there. The first time we won was the 21-22 season when Pat Baldwin Jr. was hurt. That 75-39 loss. Gross. That was a home game. Yikes. I forgot about that. I think I blocked it from my memory. You got 2 games in a row. We have never built an actual streak against them. We've got 3 different times where we've had 2 games in a row, but we've never had a winning streak against Northern Kentucky. all time we're down 8-13. I think we got to start an 8-game run here. That's just me. So, going over the stats some more. 2 blocks apiece, 28 bench points to 25. I love the assist to turnovers. We had 15-9. They had 9-13. That's great. Brady, hello. Welcome in. The fast break points, 11-4. Nothing special there. Points off turnovers. This right there. That is what when Coach Lundy talks about tilting the floor. That's exactly what he's talking about. Tilt the floor. Win the game by tilting the floor. Create turnovers, get transition offense, score baskets, win games. Wright State actually committed fewer fouls than we did, or at least got called for fewer. The old gripper who's a color commentator for Wright State probably thought that we committed about 7,000 fouls this evening. Everybody who was in the Discord voice chat was like, this guy is awful. He's just a major homer. And then that one AJ McKee got called for a foul when he got put when the other guy pushed him to the ground. And even their super old guy who's a super homer is like, I literally pushed him to the ground. How did the other guy get called for a foul there? Going over to the Panther stats. Going over to the Panther stats. Let us. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. I wish I could, truncate this somewhat, but we'll move it back and forth. Themis Falks had 18 points. That was tied with Kentrell Pullian for team lead. They both made 7 field goals. Kentrell only took 12 shots. Falks took 14. From 3, the team was fantastic. I mean, look at some of these players compared to their, Stillwell made 2 of 3 threes. For the season, he ain't that. Johnny Lovelace only played 4 minutes. Lyric Davis checked in right at the end of the game because Bartleck's taunting me. He knows that everybody knows I want to see more Lyric Davis, but he will have his moment, trust me. I will say this. Danilo Jovanovic having only 14 minutes is a shock to me. And you know why it's a shock to me? Because he was phenomenal tonight. He was great offensively. He was great defensively. He had a rebound every other minute he was on the floor. I mean, just fantastic. 3 of 6 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. He was efficient. He had 25% usage was decent. 9 points. I really think when you look at the team, now let's look at the fouls over here. Just move that. That's the last column. We'll make that the last column, and then I will knock myself over here. 4 fouls from Faison Fields and 4 fouls from Pratt, but neither of them had those until pretty late in the game. The team really wasn't in foul trouble. And I will say that a couple of Faison's fouls were the same kinds of fouls he's been getting. The same kind of fouls he basically gets all the time, which are the not rotating in time, trying to play the passing lane. And I don't know if that's a choice. I don't know if that's a coaching choice where they want him blocking the passing lane for the post player. I don't think that's the best way to use him. I think Fields has shown that it's difficult for him to rotate to his spot in time the way that they have him playing. So the better way for him is to probably just have him play between his man and the basket And if that allows them to play some inside out game, I would say so be it, because otherwise he's getting a lot of fouls called on him. He's getting a lot of fouls called on him that aren't great. And it's making it so that it's hard to keep him on the floor. Now, he scored 10 points today on only 4 field goal attempts, which meant, he got 6 of 8 from the line, which 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Probably the biggest stat of the evening is a lot of these guys shot very well from the free throw line. I mean, Eric Pratt and Kentrell Pulling were each 1 of 2 from the line, but otherwise that's great. 6 of 8 fields. McKee 6 of 6 from the line. Jovanovic and Duffy were each made all their free throws. These are, this right here is a big part of the basketball game, is getting to the line and making your free throws. Of the 4 factors, one is free throw rate. And it's about getting to the line even more than it's about making the shots. But if you're making the shots and when you're getting the line and you're getting the line a lot, you're putting the other team in foul trouble. You're putting points on the board without the clock moving. It creates scores like, 95 to 79. That's where, this is one of those things where this is what this team could be if things are flowing right, if they're shooting well. I've noticed that AJ, when he hesitated on taking a shot from 3 tonight, if he hesitated, it was either a miss or he gave up the shot and gave it to somebody else. The one make that he had was one of 2 3-point shots where he just had the smooth, just automatic stroke. If we get him shooting well, we're in a really good spot. I mean, he was 1 of 6 from the field, and that was from 3, and that's not ideal. But I want him shooting those balls because I do feel like at the end of the season, we're going to be very happy that he's still out on the floor. And he still had 11 points because he got to the line and made every free throw that he took, because he pulverized the lane. And that's something that I'm really glad that the Panthers are starting to do, because it's it's something that we want to continue. If we're beating the lane, we are winning basketball, or we're playing winning basketball. Frankly, just straight up, they're winning basketball. Going to the shot chart here. No, how is it like that? Going to the shot chart here. You can see a lot of our open shots. You're gonna be put me in the middle here. A lot of our open shots, our made shots, are coming from the right elbow from 3. They're not coming from the left elbow, but they're coming from inside. A lot of made baskets inside. Unfortunately, you look at the other side with Wright State, same kind of thing. They're making a lot of their shots from the right elbow. They're making a lot of shots inside. That right there, that's a big deal. Moving this scoreboard out of the way, you can see that a lot of their misses were coming on the corners. So we were lucky on some of these shots, and also a lot of it was defense. Frankly, they did a great job. Let's see. Oh, I like this basket. 95-79. You really had, what was it? I mean, you really had an 8-man rotation. The big change I would say for this game was you had less Johnny Lovelace. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying that Johnny shouldn't be playing more, but Johnny is going to be, it's going to be better for Johnny if he's struggling as he has been to take a step back and kind of focus on the individual stuff, because we're going to need him at the end of the season. We're going to need him at the end of the season. We're going to need him, we're also going to need him if somebody gets hurt. And unfortunately, that's part of the game. Ooh. Aaron Franklin got on the court at the end of the game. That was pretty cool. For Wright State, the big score was Alex Hubrex, because if you're from Wisconsin, you should play the Milwaukee Panthers every single game that you play. Because for whatever reason, whoever plays Milwaukee, if they're from the state of Wisconsin, they absolutely destroy us defensively. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Kenny, a win. No, but it's not a win for Jimmy. It's a win for all of us. We are all sharing in the win. We're all Panther fans here. Just because I have a condition does not mean that it's about me. Not sure if you're a big plus minus guy or if you've already covered, but these stood out to me. Stillwell was plus 21. McKee and Prater plus 16. Faison was minus 1. That's a really interesting plus minus, because it's so drastic. Stillwell was playing a lot of the minutes with Jovanovic, because my guess is that Jovanovic despite playing 14 minutes, probably had a pretty good plus minus. Also with Fields, the problem for him with the plus minus is he wasn't on the court during that 21-4 run. In the first half, he was on the bench when they went on that big run. So I wouldn't read a ton into it. I'm not a massive plus minus guy. But I will say that, like, it's a pretty good one. Pie in the Sky Coffee says, "What's up with them bringing Lyric in for the second time with seconds left?" I don't know. I think Lundy's shorting the rotation. Dylan was a plus one. He had a phenomenal game, so that tells me the plus minus is kind of a crapshoot, because it's dependent as much on who the other four guys are on the floor as it is for you. As far as Lyric is concerned, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, he's definitely been the odd man out on the rotation in a lot of ways. We have such a glut of strong wings, and with Pratt playing, with KP shooting well, the need for another, like, shooting specific. He shoots well, but Lyric does not shoot like. It's not if Lyric were shooting 45% from three on decent volume, I would be really, really, like, frustrated with him being on the bench. And you guys who are in this post-game chat know every time, like, I bring it up most games. I would like to see more Lyric Davis on the floor. If that means, if he were a 45 or 50% 3-point shooter, you couldn't keep him on the court or off the court. The fact is right now that he's kind of a 3-and-D guy, and his 3 is, like, low to mid 30s on small usage. I think that Lyric, I hope that he stays next year, because in this era of transfers and NIL, I think it's players can get frustrated and leave, and I really hope he doesn't, because we have a lot of guys who are leaving this next year. I'm currently operating under the assumption that none of the JUCO players that are supposed to be getting extra years are going to be here next year. So for those who don't know, there was a lawsuit that the NCAA lost to a guy who was a former JUCO player. Basically sued, saying that his JUCO time shouldn't be counting against NCAA eligibility. The NCAA lost that ruling, so anybody who had played in JUCO for any amount of time is able to get another year of eligibility. I am currently operating under the assumption that none of these guys are going to be getting that back. Kentrell Pullian, Jamichael Stillwell, Themis Fulks. It was Faison. Faison came from Old Dominion, but was he at a JUCO before then? I don't know. Aaron Franklin, Darius Duffy. I'm Eric Pratt. I'm assuming that none of those guys are going to be here for another season. That's not that I'm not saying that because I hope that they don't. Obviously, I would love to have all of them back, but I'm just operating under the assumption that until we hear different, because they're gonna have to file like appeals with the NCAA and stuff. Faison was in JUCO for a year, so he can get a year back too. Okay, just wild shit. It really sucks if you're a high school senior who has not committed yet, because there are fewer opportunities coming up next year, unfortunately. By the way, I'm really coming across. Kroger's got a fantastic peach seltzer. Pie in the Sky thinks that Lyric's a 4 for defense and energy. Yeah. I mean, calling him a 4 defensively is kind of shortchanging him too, because Lyric can defend all 5 spots on the floor, right? So defensively, yeah, it's going to take a good sales pitch. It was brought up to me that I should start a GoFundMe for the cancer, and that every dollar over my medical bill cost should go to the team's NIL fund. That'd be very funny. I don't know. Maybe we should do a GoFundMe, because it's going to cost a lot of money, but I'm going to cross that bridge when I get to it. Speaking of, to get an update, I did get a CT scan yesterday after work. I was in and out in like 20 minutes. Unlimited eligibility. I was in and out in like 20 minutes. I'm not, unlike the last CT scan, they did not have a doctor like looking at it. So I'm not going to get the results for like a few days. So I get to basically chew on my fingernails to see if this crap, if this garbage cancer spread to my chest or not. Like all of you, I hope it did not, but I have no idea if it's going to or not. I'm not going to know until we see the results of the CT scan. I'm not going to see it probably until like early next week. Operation Bring Back J. Mike. I have a feeling that Jamichael Stillwell is going to have a dollar amount attached to him that you and I could not come up with for a very long time. Jamichael is one of the. I will definitely keep you guys posted on the scan. I mean, if you want to design a Jimmy Fuck Cancer t-shirt, you let me know what you want, and I will I'll help you out with that. I would be happy to do that. If nothing else than to have a t-shirt. It would be funny if it was like it's Jimmy fuck cancer and UW Green Bay basketball. Actually, what's really funny is that in the last, since Monday night when I put it all out on the podcast, and I've heard from so many people in the last couple days. It's been an almost constant flow of positive messages from people, and I'm really blown away by it. It's really cool to hear from people who I haven't seen in a long time. Send me some throwback Jimmy pics from college. Yeah, it's really cool to hear from people. As far as like Panther stuff, a lot of old soccer players, because that was the program that I was like, probably most of my like friends in the college were from. A bunch of basketball players from all eras. People who played for Bruce Pearl, Jeter, Bo Ryan. I heard from London. I heard from Langston Wilson, who was in the game chat this evening. Although he didn't talk much, he was just watching the game with us. I heard from a lot of people. I got a text from Amanda Braun. That was great. It was fantastic. I get this feeling that like people are kind of circling the wagons around me, and I really appreciate it because you don't often people don't often tell everybody, who they it's not common in our society for people to tell people they care about them until something like this happens. And what I would say is, tell your friends, tell your family, tell the people that you sit next to at Panther games that you appreciate them. 'Cause it does feel great, and my spirits are high. They're definitely a lot higher than they were, Monday night, or yesterday. It was a little rough because of the CT scan, and not having the results to that is bothersome to me, but something I can live with. Yeah, Brady pointed out even Trayvon Brick is supporting me. Yeah, somebody called him out on that. Somebody called him out on that. I'm like, let's just let's let it go. Like, basketball rivalry is a basketball rivalry. Let's, it is what it is. It's not about the people. It's about the colors on the back. I don't have any ill will towards people who are Green Bay alumni or Green Bay like fans or players or coaches or anything. Not real ill will. By the way, one of the people I heard from, let me call this out. Preston Rudinger sent me a DM wishing me well. How about that? What a first-class human being Preston is. So maybe we don't put Green Bay on that T-shirt. What a classy kid. Everybody should drop him a follow. We have this fun fraternity, don't we? Of people who are fans of Horizon League programs, people who have played for Horizon League programs. There's this shared experience where we've all played and been in these arenas that are 1/5 or 1/10 full, and we've cared deeply about the results, and then we go to the water cooler the next day and nobody gives a flying frick about what the result was. It's a different experience, but it's an experience that I would never give up for anything, because. And I will say this, if anybody wants to clip this and send this to every Milwaukee alumni on the planet, this is what I would, everybody in Milwaukee, this isn't the Big Ten, this isn't the Big East, but I have had a level of access to the program the entire time I've been a fan that most fans at a school like Madison or Marquette wouldn't even be able to dream of. I was on a first name basis with Rob Jeter like 3 months into my freshman year of college. In fact, I asked the first question at his first post-game press conference and he tore me up. I asked him, it was a exhibition game against UW Parkside. I want to say it was Parkside. It's like an exhibition game, and I asked him about this team tends to get up and down the floor a lot. You're coming with the swing offense, which is a slow-moving offense, and he's like, no, it's not slow. And Jeter just ripped me up. But first off, I was right. The swing is a slow offense. Don't tell me the swing is not a slow offense. You need to have a bunch of NBA players for it to score 80 points a game. You're not running a fast offense, coach. Second off, the reason that I bring it up is that I had a level of access as an alum, as a as a student, and then later as an alumni that I wouldn't have at Marquette. I highly doubtful that, I might be able to have it now because of Panther U. If I was at Marquette and I was doing like the Marquette, if I was like John Dodds or Jim Ganser at Marquette, I would probably know Shaka. Or if I was like, Mark Miller doing the Wisconsin basketball yearbook, I'd probably know some of these guys. But I had access back then, and I have it now, and it's not just because I run Panther U's, because I'm a fan of the program. So many of you guys in chat have gotten to know Bart Lundy. I've gotten to talk to Bart Lundy, gotten to talk to players, gotten to know the assistants. You have a level of access that Marquette and Wisconsin fans can only dream of. And it's partially because we're a smaller program. But even if we were like 3 times, even if instead of 2,000 fans, if we were averaging 6,000 fans, people would still be able to get that access, because this is just kind of who we are. It's a very accessible program, and you're able to have the experience of I buy a season ticket every year. I get the $100 season ticket. You guys know I never sit in the seat that is assigned to me. Sometimes I'll find somebody else to sit by. Lately, I find that that party deck to be great because it's just got such a fantastic vantage point, and there's no student section to make me feel bad for standing there. Because I'm older than them, but they're not there, so I don't feel bad about it. But I get the feeling not of an owner of the team. I don't consider myself an owner of a team. I don't consider any of us as fans to be the owner, but it really is our program, right? A fan of and that's the other thing, a fan of a pro, a pro sports team like the Bucks. You're buying season tickets, or you're spending a lot more money, and you have zero access really. And you might get to high five Giannis once in the entire time you have tickets over a decade. But a lot of us went to school here. So we have that connection. We have a lot of good things going on. I will say, as I'm kind of wrapping this up, again, thank you to everybody who reached out in the last couple of days. It really means the world to me. Thanks to everybody who, offers of help are great. I don't know how. I don't know if I'm going to need help or if I'm going to ask for help. I am extremely lucky to have a very strong support base in my family. My wife fucking rules. She is she's just an incredible person. She's just so supportive. She's never, she's never like on top of me in the way that like she's never smothering me. She lets me have, space when I want to do things like this. She wants me to do better as a person, and I want to do better for her. But like, there's nothing that, like, if I ever needed her to do anything, there's nothing that she wouldn't do for me. And I love having her, and I love having my mom. And I feel like going into the cancer, going into this like bout with cancer, it's funny because my mom is literally has 50 years of experience. She was a registered nurse for like 25 years before she became a nurse practitioner. And she was a nurse practitioner for like 22 years before she retired. And about half of her career was spent working in oncology. So like, there's really not a lot of, she's kind of like, I told the doctor, cause I had her come with me last week when I talked to the doctor, and I was like, she's kind of like my medical consigliere. So again, I'm lucky to have my mom, I'm lucky to have my dad, I'm lucky to have my sister. My family, my friends, you guys are just, it's unreal. Like, the offers. I really do get the feeling that like, it's none of this like just thoughts and prayers. Like I do feel like I get that support, and I don't get me wrong, I appreciate all the prayers too. For those of you who believe in whatever you believe in, I will take all of that. I really do appreciate all of it. So, you want to see me tomorrow? We got a game on Friday. If you want to talk, I am super available. Always got my phone on me. I appreciate all of you. You know where to find me on Twitter at Jimmy Lemke. You want my phone number so you can text me, or you can be like one of the people that calls me that is not a automated thing trying to sell me Medicare or an extended warranty for my car. You go right ahead. That's one really dumb part of this experience, is that I'm always waiting for these calls from Aurora, and I'm trying to answer the phone, and every time I answer the phone, it's like, beep, hello, we want to find out if you are eligible for a Medicare Part D. It's like, I'm 38 years old, man. I know that I have gray hair, but I'm not eligible for Medicare. Get out of my face. Ugh, gross. But I appreciate everything. I'm going to let everybody go now. We're going to do the same thing Friday night. Northern Kentucky's. I don't care that Northern Kentucky is, where are they at? 4-5 and have lost their last 4 games. I could not care less. 4-5, lost their last 4 games. Don't care. They were 4-1 in conference. Now they're 4-5. That's too bad. Let's take a little peek at Northern Kentucky. So they lost at home to the Wright State team we just trashed. They got trashed by Cleveland State. They got trashed by Oakland. They got trashed by Youngstown State. They trashed Green Bay, and they squeaked by Fort Wayne. Lost in overtime to Robert Morris. That is a rough stretch. Interesting. I'm not going to assume that things are going to be great. Darren Horn is still a good coach. Northern Kentucky is still a good program. We still have difficulty winning at Northern Kentucky. Last year, we got absolutely pantsed at Northern Kentucky. Yes, we beat them in the conference tournament, but we come back to that thing where I say 5 losses wins the Horizon League. Losing that game to Robert Morris sucks, but if we can do it. Whoa, dude, my cat just made like a 4-foot jump. That was sweet. If we can pick up another win at Northern Kentucky, on Friday, that's 4 road victories of the 10 games. And you only need a couple more. But they still have Vincent. They still have Robinson. They're still a tough team. I'm with you, Stack. I do not care. So, again, thanks everybody for the support. Thanks for doing this. Subscribe to the channel. There's a little ding bell, so you'll get the notification when I go live. If you like it, you want to share it, please share this on your social media. Share it on Facebook. Share it on the Bird app. Share it on Blue Sky and Instagram and Grindr. Share it on Grindr and then send me a screenshot of you sharing my. Just share it wherever. I don't care. I do have an idea, and you guys have to let me know in the comments section after I shut this off, because this is the end of this. I do have an idea of, I was going to do like a Patreon for the Panthers, where like we'll do like an extra podcast a week, or like we'll do one where we get a guest, and then Patreons will be guests. I think it would be maybe a little funnier if instead of a Patreon, I started an OnlyFans, but instead of anything sexual, it's just more Panther basketball content. That's just my thought. That's just a thought. Because there's nothing that says OnlyFans has to be sexual, right? You could, and also like sometimes like when the floor is getting tilted, just feels great. All right, I'm gonna get going. You guys have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you on Friday night. We'll be back in the Discord live chat during the game. Tonight was fantastic. I have 10 or 12 people in there chatting it up during the game. We had a blast, and let's do